and welcome. You're watching Business Today TV. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand the closing action on the D Street, starting from the benchmark index moves to sectoral action and all the stocks that are buzzing the most in trade. We'll help you understand from the experts where exactly is money to be made in this current setup. First up, a quick check on the benchmark indices, the Nifty and the Sensex. As we inch closer to the day's close, the markets have reduced their sell-off but are still down by about 0.1% lower on the Nifty. 19,638 currently. Looks like the Nifty is trying to defend that 19,600 mark again in today's trading action. The Sensex is back above the 66,000 mark again, so it's down about 100 odd points lower, and you can see the markets are actually closing into the flat line as we inch closer to the closing session. Let's look at the broader markets then, the mid and the small caps. So the mid cap action is pretty bright, 0.5% of an improvement on the mid cap index. It's improving from the day's low, and the small cap 100 index is also up by 0.2%. Let's look at the other indices. Remember, the Nifty Bank was under pressure. But that has also reduced its sell-off. I mean, you can see it's off the lowest point of the day now. 0.5% of losses still remaining on this index. So similar declines on financial services and on private banks. But let's look at the PSU banks, because that was an index that was still doing better. So yes, 0.25% uptick for this one as well. Now, which are the sectors that are in limelight? It's the realty pack. That's definitely seeing the biggest move in terms of sectoral action in today's trading action. 1.8% up, 1% gains on the FMCG pack as well. That follows up next. And we're also seeing move coming in on the metal pack. That's also shining bright. The pharma index is up by 0.3%. And of course, apart from this, we're also looking at some gains coming in on the consumer durables, healthcare, and the oil and gas index. Let's look at the gainers and the losers. Throughout the trading session, you did see NTPC and Power Grid topping the charts, and that remains the scene even today. So NTPC is up by 4% at 210. Power Grid up 3% as well. Apart from this, the healthcare majors, Apollo Hospitals is also now up at 2.5%. Dr. Reddy's has pulled up. Adani Ports is also up in trade. Bajaj Finance, M&M has improved as well. On the downside, Bajaj Finserv is down by 1.5% or so. HDFC Bank, HCL Tech, TCS, so the IT majors are down in trade today, and BPCL also seeing a cut of 1.5%. Let's welcome our guest on the show. Mr. Kranti Batini joins in, Director Research at Wealthmill Securities. Mr. Batini, great pleasure to have you with us on Business Today TV. What are you making of the markets and the sentiment currently? We did see consolidation building up over the last week or so. The July series was fantastic. The Nifty added 700 points. We saw record highs as well, but just came very, very close to that 20,000 mark, could not attain that. For the August series, could it be the 5th consecutive month of gains for the Indian markets? And do we see that magic 20,000 mark as well?
Yes, actually, 20,000 level is very nearby to us. Markets before taking into the 20,000 levels, the market is in a consolidation phase right now. The overall market setup is quite strong. Both the fund flows from domestic as well as the foreign portfolio investors and domestic institutional investors also. It's quite strong right now. We have a considerable amount of flows that have been coming from SIPs also, which have been good support for the market. So it is just a matter of time for the 20,000 levels of the Nifty. Even the domestic flows are strong, and the overseas, the market sentiment also quite improved. So overall, to sum up, markets are in a consolidation phase right now. This gives an opportunity for the investors who want to enter into India's market. These dips always gives an opportunity for the investors to accumulate the chips for a longer term perspective. Overall, right now, the 25 basis points hike from the Federal Reserve, market has digested, and market could able to discount that 25 basis points. Now, the main thing market is looking forward is what is the commentary, how the RBI monetary policy is going to take a stance with respect to the inflation, and also the rate hike that's given from Federal Reserve. How RBI is going to have a stance with respect to their monetary policy is extremely crucial for Indian market. And again,
Yes.
right now we are in the middle of the earning season. The earning season uh, has been very good so far. Uh, we can see some kind of uh, 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 consolidation in some large cap stocks, but overall it's a mixed earning season. But overall, the mid and small caps, and even in fact the large cap stocks delivered a very good amount of traction in terms of their earnings, especially the banks.
Okay. I'd like to, before we go on to understanding more about sectors, the best picks, the best themes to pick right now, the global macro situation, wanted to understand, it was very supportive for a long time now, but the dollar index is now back at 102. The crude has gone back to $84. The FIR outflow yesterday to the tune of 3,800 odd crore rupees was something as a knee-jerk reaction that we saw of a profit booking of sorts. Is there anything that you're spotting here which could emerge as a big headwind to this larger uptrend that we are looking into the markets? Or do you think that markets in India are priced to perfection after the recent rally?
I completely agree with you on the second statement, Sakshi. Uh, Indian markets are quite resilient at this point of time. There is no major concern or major worry with respect to the global setup is concerned at this point of time, until unless there are any geopolitical or any kind of events which are not foreseeable by anyone. But overall, the setup is quite strong at this point of time. But what the point we look forward to see is what is the commentary from the Reserve Bank, the central bank governor, and the monetary policy, how they are going to frame the entire exercise, whether they are going to give a pause for the rate hike cycle, or they are going to uh, take a stance with in line with the Federal Reserve, whether they are going to take any price hike. It can be 15 basis points to 25 basis points. We need to wait and watch. That's what market is uh, looking forward at this point of time.
Okay. Now, you did talk about banks. Now, definitely, banks have been a big consensus buy. I wanted to ask you, do you still believe that banking is the best sector to be in the markets right now? Or is there any contra sector that you would like to pick out in the markets where you believe that now the re rating and now the outperformance will now start?
See, for a longer term perspective, Sakshi, we have been educating on your shows from quite a long time before the banks are, when they were not in the flavor. Also, we have been educating the investors. Banks are one of the core sector to be in the portfolio of investor. It can be the question is whether the investor want to be in a private sector banks or in the public sector bank, because
Yeah.
of late public sector banks have been performing very good and they have been
Yes.
posting very good set of numbers in the recent past and last 2 quarters. So for a longer term perspective, we stick to the private sector banks for a portfolio construction. Whereas for a medium to short term, we can select some good names from PSU banks also, purely for a medium term perspective. So there is still value and there is still growth with respect to the banking and financial services sector in India is concerned at this point of time.
Okay. Let's also talk in the same breath. You've been pretty positive on the mid-cap IT space as well. I have discussed stocks like KPIT Technologies, Quick Heal, all of those stocks also with you in the past. We've now seen suddenly a move coming in amidst the Q1 earnings as well. Birla Soft, for example, 52-week high levels for this stock. We looked at Intellect Design Arena. The share price soared about 15%, 16% odd or so, near its 52-week high levels on the strong Q1 earnings again. Anything that looks attractive to you from the mid-cap IT basket? Remember, IT sector we've been discussing is the worst priced in now. Is this the best time to, go after the IT stocks? Leaving alone the big 4, 5 blue chip IT firms, I'm now focusing on the mid-cap IT basket. And could this be, a good pick for the markets and investors now?
Sakshi, the mid and small cap IT space has really surprised me the way they came out with the numbers. Uh, Stocks, many of the stocks they have been outperformed the market when you compare with the large caps. It's completely surprised me. The main reason we have been interacting with most of the mid and small cap managements in their recent earning calls. because of the specialized domain they operate, they are much more insulated than the large cap players at this point of time. Stocks like KPIT Technologies, if you drill down further and small cap of IT space with a market capitalization less than 2,000 to 3,000 crores range, there are certain companies like, just to name Ariane Pro, uh, the company is into specialized risk management software services provider. As you mentioned on your screen, the persistent systems. These are the stocks which have shown their resilience in terms of their earnings are concerned. Just to name one more stock, these are not the stocks for to buy, just for the education purpose, just to understand the scenario. There's a company by the name of Onward Technologies. The stock shown complete resilience in the small cap IT space, and stock has been rallying very well, and they've posted very good set of numbers. So the companies which are in a specific domain and a specified geography, they have been doing extremely good despite of the geopolitical environment, despite of the US slowdown concerns. So the companies are not reducing their budgets, and in fact, they can see a strong order flows going ahead. So there is a
Hmm.
complete divergence between the mid cap IT space, small cap IT space, and the large cap IT space. So any
Okay.
dips in these names will be the net buyer. But as a contrarian view, with respect to the large cap IT space, only for a longer term perspective, we definitely take positions in large cap IT space also. We don't ignore IT is not
Sure.
the space to ignore.
Sure, absolutely. Fair enough, right there. Let's look at the markets again, revisit them. The Nifty has flattened out completely, just 5 or 4 points or down. The losses have been reduced on the Sensex as well. It's just about 75 points down in trade. So, very smart recovery has come into shape. Last 15 minutes remaining, looks like, the Nifty will try and inch into the green as well. It's the Nifty 500 index that is showing very strong buying at this point in time. It's up by 0.2% higher, but just the last half an hour or so, you can see a sudden spurt. So it's the broader markets that are definitely supporting the markets. Anything from the broader markets that stands out for you, Mr. Battini, at this point in time, where you may be looking for opportunities now?
Sakshi, it's more about the stock specific action now. Like, it's a
Yeah.
broad based right now. The opportunities are emerging on stock. Every stock. You see, what surprised me is the move in Colgate. The stock has been quite resilient, and it's a stock where people are not discussing, and the FMCG space. There are whole lot of opportunities that are emerging in these markets, Sakshi, and the company's results also quite positive in Q1. So, just to name, there are many opportunities are emerging uh, uh, in these market conditions.
Okay, understood. Well, many thanks, Mr. Battini, for being with us on the show and discussing all these various pockets of interest, and also helping our viewers understand what is the best way to approach these pockets that are buzzing in action in trade today and going forward from here as well. Looking back into the markets, just 6 points down, 19,653 currently on the Nifty. The Sensex down by 85 odd points at 66,188. Sectorally, a lot of buzzing action being seen in several of the sectors. The realty pack, a very, very strong move coming in. You're looking at even the next 50 now up by over 1%. The Nifty next 50. That's where the action is. FMCG stocks buzzing in trade, metals shining bright, PSU banks also seeing improvement as well. 0.5% gains coming in on the consumer durable pack as well. So that's as far as the markets are concerned. We'll continue to track the markets for you on Business Today Bazaar as well. So do stay tuned onto our Hindi platform as well to catch the closing action there as well. And rest of the market news and the business news will continue on Business Today TV. So you can subscribe to this channel and also continue to engage with us on other social media platforms as well. Until then, many thanks for tuning in.
The US Federal Reserve raised its